Now, welcome to Real Talk, Real Advice, Real Difference. It's my pleasure to have a conversation around what are the traits of a best real estate agent, and also one of the things that Kylie that really frustrates me from looking from the inside out is we've been told that brands sell homes or brands will get you listings, right? People actually still believe that, right? The reality is, if you ever think about it, like how many of the things that a real estate agent does, if it's an open home, if it's the marketing, if it's taking photos, how many of those things that actually brands do, right?
Absolutely.
So almost like if it was 36 things, probably 36 out of 36 would really the agent would do, right?
Yeah.
But we've been told, well, that it's a thing that the agents have been told, or that people, the public have been told, like, you know, we will sell your house as a brand, which is a total rubbish. I know it helps when you got a brand that works with integrity, has got a good name in the marketplace. But the reality is, the brand's not going to get you listings, or the brand is not going to sell your house. It's the agent that will do everything. So one of the things I want to have a conversation about, what's the traits of the best real estate agents, and why is it best to have an agent specialising in one area rather than trying to sell all around Christchurch or Canterbury. Sha is like, you know, you worked for last 6 months, and I think in commission you did about 250,000, right?
Yep.
Which is pretty impressive. And Kylie, like, you know, your role here at Najib is taking care of the back end of everything that the agent shouldn't do. Like what I believe is, like, agents should list, sell, and negotiate. Like, what did your role look like? I'm curious.
In terms of what we do, obviously supporting the agent, as you said. So it allows the agent to do what they can be best at, as you said, list, negotiate, and sell. It means they can concentrate on that great communication with their clients. They can be working closely with buyers, and know that, as you said, the back end, the crossing the T's, the dotting the I's can be taken care of in a really good way back in the office, so that you're really people focused. Because I think, going back to your further point about what makes a good agent, communication's got to be right up there, along with a few other things, but that's one of the first things you think of when you're wanting an agent. You're wanting someone that's going to communicate well with you and keep those lines of communication open.
Sure. There are some things that agents do brilliantly well, I appreciate that, and there are things that they can't do.
Yeah, well, they can do, but they may not be interested in doing them.
Sure.
You know, it may be filling in forms or the paperwork, whereas agents want to get out there and be with the people, and you can have your people back in the office that are really happy to fill in forms and are the detail-oriented people in terms of that.
Sure.
So it's you're working out in the specialised areas in terms of suburbs, and we're covering that other side in the office.
The things that agents shouldn't be doing, right? I know they can, like you said, they can.
They don't have to.
Absolutely.
They shouldn't have to do them. They could do them, but they shouldn't have to.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to know, Sha, like, you know, we'll come back to your daily, like, you know, daily routine, what it looks like, because I'm just going to come to the traits of best agent, but I want to start with you, like, you know, what does your daily routine look like?
Yeah, are you talking about starting from the morning?
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, my start time is about 5 a.m. that I wake up and get myself prepared before I start my day. So I'll wake up, go for a run, exercise, and then I start with my meditation in the morning, have a glass of water, and then I'll get ready for work. And I'm at work usually by about 7:30, I'd like to be. And then start my day. The first thing is, you know, we always sit down and have our catch-ups with the team, just seeing how the last 24 hours was and what's ahead of the 24 hours as well. So we're prepared. And then it's just prospecting in the mornings. You know, from 9 a.m, I think the team knows that from 9 a.m. to 12 it's all about that prospecting, and the agents are not disturbed. and then the rest of the day is catching up with our clients and meeting up with them and seeing how best we can serve.
Sure. As our old friend Phil Harris from Adelaide says
Yes.
that AM for prospecting, PM for face-to-face meetings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which makes total sense. And one of the things that, Kylie, I heard a long time ago was the difference between the best of the best agents and an average agent. Not much difference at all. Not too much difference at all. But the best of the best prospect every single day, that 3 to 4 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
It's consistency.
Yeah.
That is the only difference. So talking about traits of the best agents, one of the things like consistency and commitment.
Absolutely.
Like it has to be done. It's not a consistency. It's not a 1 day thing. It's not a 2 day thing. It's like it takes.
Yeah.
It's not when you feel like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I might go into the office today and do some phone calls. Or
Yeah.
I might go and do this. You know
Yeah.
what you're doing, where you are.
Yeah.
100%.
And even from as you said, from our sales support point of view, we know
Yeah.
when to book meetings for agents. We know when you're going to be in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wanting to catch up even so important because you can have your list from the day prior or leading up, and you've got that all sorted at the start of the day. Everyone knows what they're doing and where they're going to be and what everyone's doing, really.
Yeah.
So it makes the whole office run smoother.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that prospecting, like you said, Nathan, it's
Yeah.
so important for an agent
Yeah.
to not rock up when they feel like it
Yes.
and do it when they, think it's a good day to do it. Even on the bad days, you've just got to pick up the phone and make those phone calls.
Yeah.
Even if you know it's going to be a bad phone call, you'd rather make it, make
Yeah.
a few mistakes with those phone calls,
Yeah.
and say next.
But if you've got a great team around you, it's kind of lifts you up, right? If somebody's carrying this good energy,
Exactly.
then you kind of, it's like as they said, like good energy and bad energy is contagious, right?
Yep.
So I think the only thing the brands really do and should do, in my opinion, is to create this platform for agents to come in and have that mentality or have that thing that when we're in the office, we making things happen, making phone calls and together we're working to create leads, I suppose, right? I think that platform is what a brand.
Yeah. It sets the values of the company,
Mm-hmm.
which we're really big on here at Najib, obviously. And then, it's the agent that makes the agent.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So the platform is done like we've got amazing. When you've got this amazing platform, you've got a superstar sales support team to help the agents do their thing, what they're good at. Then, if the agents have got consistency and commitment, and I'll talk about commitment. I said it's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in a year. Probably give it 2 years, and then because consistency builds trust. Right? If we took a prime example of us selling real estate in West Milton, right?
Yeah.
6 years ago,
Yeah.
nobody knew Najib, right?
No.
And then we go in there, we walk into every single person that sells their house, no doubt about it, and then 8 out of 10 will go with us. One of them will, we either choose we can't do business with, or they think they can't do business with, or the last one would either go privately or go to the market with somebody else, right? Majority, because we've been around consistent for a long period of time.
Takes time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
So consistency, commitment for sure, and then we've got the second thing I've got is humility. And the reason I've got humility second, because in everything else, I think in real estate we need to have humility right at the top. The reason I've got humility second here is because if you're not around for long enough and you're the nicest guy, people are not going to find out about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or nicest girl, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be around for long enough, 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when you walk into the people's houses, they're like, this is she or he's a decent human being too, right?
Yeah.
And humility alongside ability to connect with people. And I also say generosity. Because people are sick of salespeople who are just like in it for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
When was the last time you walked into to some place and you're like, oh, this salesperson just wants me to buy stuff?
Yeah, well, there's a reason salespeople have bad names, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whether
it's
it be real
become
estate or other sales
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah.
Not a good name for yourselves out
no,
there.
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
General real estate agents have, the general population think that they're all self-centric and not
Yes.
customer-centric.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. People are struggling to believe the actual good ones as well sometimes, because we've just built a bad name.
There are some good ones, but amongst most, they kind of disappear. I know some of the amazing people.
Oh,
Like,
of course, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yesterday I caught up with Ron, one of our previous clients. He had decided to go with somebody else last time around, right? And he burned to me. He said, I'm not going to make that mistake again, Nathan, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy nowadays for people to stand out who are doing things the right way.
Yep.
Because I've been around for long enough, Kylie, that to see agents who are doing very, very well, and then now they disappeared.
And people can make choices. People have a choice these days, and people are wising up that they don't have to accept lower than standard in anything we choose, whether it's buying a car, buying a house, going and buying clothes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's choices out there.
And then resilience and persistence. Why is that? Because we're always going to get, there's going to be rejection, right?
There's going to be lots of no's before the yes.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're in sales, Sha, there's these, what is it?
Few hang-ups.
Yeah.
Few, please don't call me again.
Every no
Yeah.
one step closer to a yes, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
If we have that kind of mentality, I think we would go I talk to my team here, and I told everybody I catch up with, hey, it's like, don't take it personally, because people have got things going on in their lives. You might have caught them in a wrong time, you might have caught them in the right time, right? Just be humble enough to say, hey, not a right time, or maybe you want me to remove you from my database, that's fantastic. But if I can ever do anything for you, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the things that we always say, Sha, is obviously we talk about this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
Right?
It's true.
It's a long time in the business. And the other thing, the fourth thing is the product knowledge and competence comes off the back of that. Once you know your product, then competence, you've got the ability to be able to explain to people what is the houses down the road sold for, and hence I say specialising in an area, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll give you an example. We went to Pegasus, which is way away from where I saw most of my houses, right? And I had no idea about the market in the area. There was a few properties that we missed, but if you're talking to me in West Milton, I know every single house that's sold there. I know every single section that's sold there. So I can have a conversation with people. People are like, okay, well, you know what's happening in the area.
Because people when they're looking for someone, whether it be, again, an agent or any other profession, you're looking for someone who's an authority figure in that business or in that area.
Yeah.
You don't want to go and, hire a plumber who doesn't know a lot about plumbing, or an electrician who doesn't know a lot about electricity, obviously. But
Or a surgeon, a heart surgeon, do your brain surgery. You wouldn't do that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You specialise in brain, right? In heart, sorry.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I think that is one of the most important things in my opinion, because like I said, it's like when you know what you're talking about, people really appreciate it. And you know what? It's not going to be 1 year, as I said this. It's not going to be 2 years. It's going to be all of a sudden now in West Milton, it's wow, you guys dominate the area. Well, how did that happen? Well, not overnight.
No, I can remember Nathan knocking on my door many years ago.
Right.
Who's this person? We don't know this person.
Yeah.
And probably there wasn't one sign in West Milton that year or the following year either, I probably guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was dominated by another brand and another agent. And I want to come to the third thing, I think, which is 1, 2, 3, fourth thing, or fifth thing, whatever it is. But the next thing is complacency.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was dominated. But the yellow brand over there, like, you know, we had some lovely agents there taking care of, like, almost every property was marketed by them, right? And then guess what happened?
Not long.
They were not consistent enough. I mean, they got complacent.
Take things for granted.
Yeah.
They took things for granted. They were giving discounts on commission. They were doing cheap marketing for people, and they were telling, look, again, consistency. Not the same person coming to the market because they're giving higher quotes, like the old real estate thing that they used to do, give high prices and sell it for lower than what they promised people.
Yeah.
And what happens? 6 years later, people find out. Maybe not 1 year, maybe not 2 years, maybe 3 years, 6 years later, people find out. So complacency is a disease as well, as they call it. Like, you know, only the paranoid survive. There was a quote by somebody.
You're always looking over your shoulder to see who's coming.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter how successful you are. And another example was we had another a lovely agent dominated Sumner for years and years and years, right? And she used to work for Harcourts. And then what happens is now the stand evens from Raywat, every second sign that you see, this their sign, right? So they're doing something amazing over there. They dominated the area. Perhaps Alison might have thought, oh, you know what? It's like it's you know, I've got dominated the area for a long period of time, or perhaps she's retiring now. Lovely person. I know Alison. I've spoken to her a few times, but complacency, like, you know, if you got complacent, then somebody else. There's always somebody else that's more hungry than you are. That's a prime example as well.
Yeah.
One of the things I've heard a long time ago, Kylie, like somebody said once, people don't care how old you are, how young you are, what color you are. People want to know how much you care, and then they want to know how good you are. And then once you have those two, then things.
Trust, don't you?
Yeah.
I think generally if you're a good person and you really put that person first, it comes in. The moment you walk into that door for any meeting, they can feel you. They can feel your presence and your aura, you know. It's just what kind of person you are. And when someone else feels it, they connect with you. They trust you immediately.
Yeah. Thankfully, the real estate industry is changing in a huge way since I started. I started some 16 years ago now, Kylie and Sha. So I've been around for a long time. When I started, I felt like the young kid in the block. Now I feel like the middle-aged kid in the block, or middle-aged in the block, right? So when we started in the business, like, you know, it was all like, you know, the business was real cutthroat, and people used to just step on people's toes. Perhaps you still do it to a certain degree, but it's not as bad. It's coming better, thankfully.
Do you think that's partly due to training agents? Like, you don't just, I don't know, you've talked about you wouldn't want an agent to come in here and throw, wouldn't be yellow pages these days, but say, hey, go to it, just get started without any guidance, without any training, without any ongoing professional development.
Absolutely, that's part of it, but I think we're becoming more conscious as well as human beings. I think we're thinking about things before we do it. Back then, it's like, you know, it was just so much selfishness. Like, you know, how can I buy the next flash car? That's why we got bad names, right?
Flash cars, flash houses.
Unfortunately.
New suits.
Which I've got nothing against, right? Good for you. If you're working hard, you buy new suits, you buy.
That's your thing.
Right.
I know.
Why not?
Absolutely. But what the reality is, you can't do that. You can't do it long term and be successful for a long period of time if that is what you're in business for, right? It may be okay for a short term, but the reality is, like, you know, I think life is more than that. It's more than just how you can take care of yourself and be selfish about things. If you want to be successful over a long period of time, So you're specialising, you're working on, Sha, you're working in an area called Lincoln nowadays.
Yes.
And I know it's been dominated with a couple of different agents. And
Yep.
how do you feel about that? Because last time I spoke to you, you were telling me, like, yes, they are selling a few houses now, but wait, give me some time.
Yeah, for sure. I've there's a few agents that are names I've got in my pocket that I will be. They probably won't be there for too long, and I think it's a matter of time that everyone will start recognizing my name and who I am and what I'm all about, and I'm excited for that. I think Lincoln doesn't know what's coming for them.
Yeah. And how genuine you are too, because I think that helps. That plays a big part in any sort of sales. I don't care what kind of sales it is. I can feel it, like, I love buying stuff. I hate being sold to. And everybody's like that, right?
Yeah.
If you people are genuine, you actually go end up buying more.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and I think the biggest thing is the fact that I've had support, and obviously the team here is amazing at what they do, and you've obviously been a mentor, Nathan, to guide me in the right direction. So with all that put together, I think we've got our first meeting in Lincoln next week, and I think that's just going to be the start of it all.
Absolutely. It's just like that mountain I spoke about so many times. Like, you climb up the mountain, it's like hard work. You climb up and up and up and up and up, and then you're at the top of it, and then downhill it goes, right?
Yeah.
It takes time, Sha. I've seen this many times, right?
Yeah.
It's like, Kylie, people say, like, okay, I'm going to get into the business of real estate. I'm going to start it for X and X brand, and I will sell houses everywhere, right? Everywhere. Okay, so if you sell everywhere, that's cool, but you're going to be competing with some of the agents, some of the best agents, right? And there are some good agents, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing agents, right? When you go in competition with agents that have been around for a long time in dominating areas, then who are you to sell their property with, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if you work at this area, one of the other agents come to an area that are maybe perhaps selling a lot of houses in Christchurch, in your area, they can't take over that. Because why? Because you're the specialist.
Yeah, and you're consistent, and it's a long-term thing.
Absolutely.
So
you provide, you give service, you help people, and all of a sudden you become the, the overnight success.
yeah,
Right?
that's it. But it's not overnight success at all.
Absolutely.
It's the consistency. There's providing as much as you can.
I think overnight success has always got a very big long backstory to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't you talk of a lot of famous entrepreneurs, business people out there, and you see their success story, and it looks like they've been a success overnight, but yet there's been
So
years
much.
of hard work leading up to that point.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
interesting though.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Kylie, you see that before as well. We talked about the training that has changed the real estate industry. Yes, I think so. I think we used to, when I started, there was yellow pages, there was Is Your Desk, good luck and I'll see you at the top, right? Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it's this, there's a lot of companies and brands still do it, and hence you've got all these agents coming in and going up, because there's no direction. So absolutely, it makes a huge difference when agents are more conscious. Now it's like you go to YouTube, you can learn how to sell real estate. You can learn everything on YouTube, or these real
Tom
estate
Panel.
gym, Tom Panos' gym, right?
Yeah.
You can listen to some of the amazing agents, and it's not far now, because when I used to find a mentor, I had to jump in the plane and go all the way to the United States, or go all the way to Sydney and see John or Phil in Adelaide, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays you can pick up the phone, Zoom call, and most of the amazing successful people, they're more than happy to give.
Yeah.
They've got this abundance mentality. Hence, we're doing this podcast to just let people know that, hey, there is a way to become successful. Don't try to become successful. Just get into the business and get into business for real estate and just hoping it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it won't.
No.
Yeah. I think the first thing that you told me, Nathan, when I got into the whole real estate game is that don't think that this is going to happen overnight. You've got to come into it if you do think that you're in this for the long term. And I still remember that. So
Yeah.
I think every agent should as well.
I think so. Like, it's like, it's if it is it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. You gotta be so, like you said, you gotta be consistent. Just to wrap this up, I know it's a short podcast, but I think short is good nowadays because people are so busy nowadays.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about, like, the traits of the best of the best is consistency, commitment. Talking about, like, being in it for long term. Humility. Number two, the reason because humility is number two, because we said that, like, you got to be around for long enough for people to find out how nice a person you are, right?
Yeah.
And ability to be able to connect with people, that part of humility, and being generous, and also being resilient, persistent. After all those no's, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep.
Yeah, I know.
Get excited.
Yeah.
In
I
a
think.
funny way.
Yeah.
And I really think it really helps, Kylie, when you've got an amazing team around you. Like, when we go no's, we can have a laugh, right? Look around at a sales team, right? Like, we can have a laugh about it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that makes it that much enjoyable, even the no's.
Yeah. It's the high fives at the end of that no. It's like, yes, you got to know. Let's go next.
Let's have support. You know, hey, you can do it.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Which makes a huge difference. And then being a specialist, not a generalist. People don't like to deal with generalists. As I said, if you're being a generalist and trying to sell everything everywhere, you got to be in competition with, like, what was it, like last time? There was 1,900 agents I checked in Christchurch or Canterbury, and there was 1,000 listings. So there's not enough listings, and if you're competing against 1,899 agents you're competing with to win one of those listings, and it's like, for every listing, there's that many agents that's competing against it. Or you can, what is it, like 10 listings in a suburb comes available every month. You're competing, like, for the team, like, it's just you competing for those team. Like, I'd rather do that than trying to compete with 1,899.
I think it's a really good way to put it like that.
And it's also very genuine, right? And it goes back to being that agent, specialize in that area, and then makes them the specialists to be able to provide for those people and not focus with the whole of Christchurch. You're actually just serving these people and just focusing on them.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get every listing.
Yeah.
It's just, and that just comes out, and you do a better job as well.
Once again, people hasn't got the stamina or the system to be able to do that, because obviously, as I say, like, that the job of the real estate agency is to create the platform and give them the system to be able to just go ahead and do those deliveries.
We know that you've got to have however many deliveries it is before anyone's even going to look at your bit of paper, or you can't, let alone remember the names. So you can't deliver to how many households in Christchurch on a weekly or a monthly basis. So you want to become known in an area so that in a year's time, when someone's thinking about selling their house, they're not going to go to the internet and our real estate agents in Lincoln.